In the midst of the enthusiastic buzz welcoming Jin's return to the stage after mandatory military service, one small but meaningful incident actually silenced the euphoria. Kim Taehyung was seen openly ignoring Jungkook's presence. For most fans who witnessed the concert, either live or via viral video clips on social media, the moment felt unnatural, even absurd. How could two BTS members known to be so close not show a single interaction, even a faint gesture, at so important an event? The entire ARMY world had hoped Jin's concert would be a symbolic moment to reunite the members in one harmonious frame. But what appeared instead was a giant question mark. Fan and journalist cameras captured second after second showing all the members united, socializing, and showing supportive spirit. All except one disturbing dynamic. Taehyung and Jungkook seemed to be in two different worlds, despite being only a few meters apart. The moment that triggered speculation happened when Jungkook was seen walking along the side of the stage to greet Jin, while Taehyung stood not far from him, talking to staff and seeming to avoid eye contact. Many fans had hoped there would be a greeting, a smile, or even a mere nod of the head from either of them, but none of it ever happened. The situation quickly fueled doubt and concern. Was this merely coincidence, or a signal of a rift that has long been hidden behind the camera lens? What complicates matters is Taehyung and Jungkook's reputation as a duo known for emotional closeness and strong chemistry over the years, both on stage and off camera. The absence of interaction at such a significant event is not something to be taken lightly by a fan community that has followed their journey for over a decade. Analysis videos circulating on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter show that this tension was not just visual. Some clips show Jungkook turning toward Taehyung more than once, but receiving no response. Even when all the members gathered in a circle, Taehyung's body position appeared slightly turned away from Jungkook. Such a gesture, in the context of member relationships within BTS, is not normal. Instead, it raises a much larger question. Is this a form of deliberate emotional avoidance? Public response is divided. Some flatly reject the narrative of conflict, considering the moment merely a result of misinterpretation or misleading video editing. But many others claim they clearly felt the distance, that something unusual existed between them, something no longer concealed by fake smiles or stage formality. Comments full of disappointment and anxiety flooded social media columns. Why do they look like strangers? What's up with Taehyung? Even this isn't the BTS we used to know. Some fans even re-examined their interactions over the past few months. They pointed to Taehyung's absence in some of Jungkook's broadcasts, lack of open support for each other's projects, and shifts in their communication patterns on social media. All of that, according to some, isn't a mere coincidence, especially given how important the symbol of unity has always been to BTS's image. But the equally important question is, are we overinterpreting a fleeting moment into a grand narrative of conflict? In a world where every public figure's movement is analyzed down to its roots, it's easy to fall into confirmation bias, seeking only information that reinforces our initial suspicions. On the other hand, we can't ignore that not all feelings can be hidden, even by seasoned artists like Taehyung and Jungkook. If there really is emotional distance, then this moment at Jin's concert may be the most real representation of their current relationship. But if not, if there's nothing amiss, why was there not a single initiative from either of them to dispel speculation with the brief interaction that has always come so naturally to them? It's undeniable that the narrative of being ignored has become a massively consumed public spectacle. But before drawing conclusions, we need to ask, who is actually shaping this narrative? Is it the result of neutral observation, or the effect of social media algorithms that promote dramatic content so it keeps rising to the surface? It's important to remember that the information in this article is sourced from various media fragments, including concert footage, short fan videos, and online discussions that are now viral. However, the absolute truth of each interpretation cannot yet be confirmed. Therefore, we invite readers not to rush to conclusions. As fans, as audience members, we all have the responsibility to remain clear-headed in assessing the situation. We need to question whether the shock and disappointment we feel now truly stem from facts or from unmet emotional expectations. Let's not become part of a chain that imposes unnecessary social pressure on the artists we support. Finally, the most important question still hangs in the air. Did this really happen? Or is it merely a reflection of our obsession with the ideal closeness that is unrealistic? Time will provide the answers. But until then, let us pause and ask ourselves, what is it that we are actually expecting from personal relationships that were never truly public property? Yet amidst the torrent of opinions created, one fundamental question must be raised. Are we, as viewers, truly witnessing facts? Or are we merely swept along in narratives shaped by visual perception and algorithmic virality? Why do so many of us immediately believe that Taeyong is indeed ignoring Jungkook just because of one video clip lacking full context? Isn't this actually a reflection of how easily public perception is shaped by digital framing? Social media has indeed changed how we absorb reality. When a 5-second video can shape global opinion, and when a single facial expression clip can become a basis for character judgment, where do we place accuracy, proportionality, and logic? Is it true that one body movement or unfocused gaze can be used as strong evidence of personal rift? Aren't human relationships far more complex than what cameras can capture? We must remember that the widely circulated information about this alleged ignoring does not come from verified reports or in-depth interviews. Instead, it stems from public interpretation of visuals, amplified by emotional narratives collectively formed on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and fan community forums. With such foundations, can we call it truth? Or is this the new form of reality controlled by sensationalism? The main critique we need to direct is not at the artists, but at how we consume and spread information. In today's digital ecosystem, the most emotional, shocking, and easily accessible content gets the most attention. So it's no surprise that the narrative about conflict between Taeyong and Jungkook became a global talking point, even without clarification or confirmation from those involved. But at this point, do we truly want to know the truth? Or do we just want to believe the most dramatic story? It's unfortunate that some fans are more interested in conflict than collaboration, more focused on potential rifts than individual growth processes. When two BTS members who have journeyed together suddenly are not seen interacting, why does our first assumption become separation, rather than fatigue, different focus, or simply a human moment without necessarily deep meaning? Could it be that we, the outside observers, are placing too heavy expectations of ideal interaction on their relationship? And when they don't act according to those expectations, are we entitled to conclude something so big as being ignored or dispute? A skeptical and reflective attitude must become the standard in reading phenomena like this. We need to ask, did the video I watched truly show the entire context of the event? Is the narrative I believe based on objective observation or just an emotional push? Who benefits from spreading stories like this? Am I thinking critically or merely allowing myself to be guided by the majority opinion? Furthermore, we must be aware that today's global entertainment industry not only produces content, but also shapes social dynamics through public attention. And that attention is often not on truth, but on emotional engagement. If conflict can be sold, then conflict speculation will spread faster than peaceful clarification. In this situation, the responsibility to refrain from excessive assumptions no longer rests with the idols, but with all of us as information consumers.